to the hit franchise Beverly Hills Cop. Now, this movie starts off as Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley again, still on the police department, don't want to take his job, want to be in the field, still in Detroit, where he's like the celebrated cop out there solving cases, and still people in the community know him. And he's Axel Foley. But to the rest of the world, he's just in the way. Yeah, sad. Sad but true. Now, Axel has run into this problem. A big problem. He's engulfed in a situation where there's a crime that happened involving his daughter, who's estranged, doesn't speak to him. Naturally, black father with problems with kids, right? Absentee father angle. And they kind of used the thing that they used for the trailer for the television show. Beverly Hills Cop was going to star Brendan T. Jackson as his son. And we never got to see that film. It never materialized. And the reason it never materialized is because the people involved didn't want it to. They didn't want it to materialize. They wanted to stay right where it was. And they said, oh, this is good and good. Now let's get Eddie to get back involved. And Eddie's like, hey, that ain't the plan. Eddie finna go back home and y'all got the show. They was like, well, we're not gonna prove this unless you're gonna be a regular guest on the show. And that's what we thought. He's like, well, you thought wrong. That's not what we agreed upon. So they came into a conflict there, and the show ended. So, but they took an angle with the mother and everything else, and they just switched it to a girl now because women are in, men are out. So now he has a daughter. And she's going through a case that's going to probably cost her life if she continuously push the narrative, right? So the envelope continued to get pushed over and over again with nobody doing anything to get in the way of it, no distractions, nothing. Then things change again. As Axel Foley, no, I'm not going to have spoilers. Axel Foley has to mend his relationship with his daughter, but then as he comes there, he finds out they can't find Billy. So now his attention focus switches to finding Billy. And Taggart is the captain in Beverly Hills. And it's got a lot of comedy in the film. It's got a lot of good moments. You see a lot of like action scenes that you didn't see in Beverly Hills Cop 3. You know, 3 is almost an embarrassment to itself. You got to look at everything like they say, open book, right? When you learn to become an open book, you get to see things clear and concise. Now, clearly, you could see that this show that they put together was put together on an agenda basis of Netflix saying, we want Eddie back, but we want Beverly Hills Cop back. So they got the producers, Bruckheimer, who did the first two, to come back. Have a little grit, have a little seriousness to it. But you got the Netflix light edge to everything. And when you got the light edge, Ed's back in Beverly Hills having to reconnect with his daughter, who he hadn't seen in years. And it led to a lot of excitement as we had a scene in Detroit. That was some action, and then we came here and got some action scenes. I mean, if the movie was going pretty good, then they slow everything down to start going with this sympathy angle, you know, this where have you been, Dad scenario. And like, was like kind of being forced. I don't know if it was her or just her lines. And what's with this agenda of putting black characters with white men? It's just, or anything. It'd be an Indian man, Mexican man. Black woman can't be with a black man. They just really eliminated that. It's like, damn, that's a crime now. A woman be like, this is, they be like, Shaniqua, Shaniqua, and Zeth. Hi, I'm Zeth Luckowicz. You're like, Zeth? Like, Jesus Christ. People could be who they want to be with, but it's like forced through Hollywood now. They'll have a woman be with a woman before they have a black couple. Jesus. If it's a black couple, believe me, they got all kind of problems. So black couple, oh God, you slept with my sister. Like, Jesus Christ. You got kids you ain't taking care of. You love me with your kids. I ain't here to take care of your kids. Look, woman, I got stuff to do. I'll be like, Jesus, man, Hollywood's gone bad. Well, the scenarios change. Like, the more they change, the more things stay the same. The action was cool. The comedy was cool. Eddie was Eddie. He seemed more into this one than he was in part 3. Even though 3 had some good, like, shootouts, it was still a lot sillier than what this was. This one, you got guys who are too old to really pull off anything. You know, they're like, look, dude, I'm not. Taggart is about 80. So it's like, Taggart was like 40 when they started Beverly Hills Cop. In part 2, he had like no hair on the side, on the top. He had a little bit in part 1. Part 2, he definitely didn't have it on the top. And the more people, you know, they doubted, they moaned and complained, the more people realize it's just the way it is. I mean, the villain was, to say the villain was weak is an understatement. I think everybody knew who the villain was without them even having to employ it. They really didn't even try to disguise it. And, you know, you never really saw any effectiveness of the villain. Just a bunch of dialogue that didn't mean anything. So, I mean, it's a good time. You know, if you want to just enjoy a movie, turn your brain off, and you're there to watch Axel Foley. Axel Foley. It's actually a watchable movie, enjoyable. I think you'll like it. Yep. So I give it 3 stars out of 4. I mean, it's entertainable. It was about to give it 2.5 because of the daughter. But I don't know. I appreciate the love though. People have to learn to live in everybody else's shadow, you know? That's hard. Everybody don't feel the same way all the time. You know, there's people that don't like people for whatever the reason may be. But when you see the lighting on this show, or let's say not just the lighting, but some of the shots that they took, it was a Jerry Bruckheimer type of experience. Like the bullet shots and stuff look real. I mean, even though the scenarios look Netflix-ish. Netflix seemed to have this like tone to it, where it's like, you know, it's a movie. Like, it don't seem real. Like, there's no real grit. You kind of feel like you're watching a movie. Even when you're watching it, it's like, okay, this is a Netflix original, you know. Everything just looks too clean. Or even when they go into a dark club, the club's like extra clean. 2.5 stars is